Hello, everyone. So today we will be talking about SAP Build Work Zone and what are the different elements that it brings to your organization, how you can create different experiences for your employees, and how you can cater to their requirements of a proper intranet portal. But before we talk about work zone, let's take a step back here and talk about that what are the different problems that an organization is currently facing, because that only becomes the motivation and vision for this SAP Build Work Zone. So currently at this point of time, any employee in an organization has to deal with multiple application, multiple process, be it's his or her onboarding, whether they are engaging for their performance, for their promotion, for their training and development, and not only for the HR processes, but also for other processes as well. In case you belong to a supply chain vertical, or you belong to a finance vertical, you belong to a sales vertical, you require different applications to run your day-to-day task. Now, these applications are very crucial to ensuring that you get your job done properly. Now, this also creates a fragmented experience for the end user, like you can see. So with the vision of having all these application inside one intranet portal, we have what we call as SAP Build Work Zone. SAP Build Work Zone is one of the services that SAP provide under the umbrella of what we called as SAP Build. So before I jump into SAP Build Work Zone, I'll take a minute or two here to talk about the other services that you get when you go for SAP Build Work Zone. So for example, there are 14, but yeah, today we will be only talking about few which are relevant, and we want to ensure that we are covering most of the processes in 1 hour. Okay, so here I'll be talking about SAP Build Work Zone, but even if you have to further automate your process, or you want to create few um, low-hanging application with SAP Build Work Zone, you have SAP Build Apps as well as SAP Build Code. Now, someone like me, who we call as a business user and who has not much understanding of the coding, we have SAP Build Apps with which we can create low code application. This is very easy. This is drag and drop. For example, you are in a supply chain and you want to create a QR scan application where you can just simply QR scan your inventory, and you want to capture that data inside SAP Workzone. Okay, you can build such application through SAP Build Apps. You can automate your process. I will show you some of the processes as well eh, through automate process. Okay, and then combining them, and you can surface that through SAP Workzone. So SAP Workzone is not just a fancy tool where you can just surface the data, but it is much more powerful than that, where it gives you when it combines with these application, can help you automate your processes or digitize your processes. There are a lot of organizations who come to us for automating their processes. So for example, there is one organization who came to us where when their process of on-site assignment was pretty critical. They were doing that on Excel. We use SAP Build Apps. We use the BTP technology to create that guided experience for them. Okay, and now that process is completely automated through SAP Workzone. Okay. Now, let me quickly show you SAP Build as well before I jump into the Workzone. Okay, so this is SAP Build. Okay, you have the capability to create applications here. Like I said, that even I don't know coding, but still I go here, I create my drag and drop application through SAP Build Apps. Okay, you can create automated processes, you can create business side through SAP Build. On top of that, this comes with its own store as well from a predefined set of application and automated processes as well, which you can leverage. So for example, if I go to a product here and choose SAP SuccessFactor so that we can keep our cases relevant from an HR perspective. So I can come here and I can select SAP SuccessFactor, which will ensure I see the processes that are available out of the box pertaining to SAP SuccessFactors. So here, for example, you can see that I have an automated process ready deployable, which is for creation and approval of mass job requisition. This is already provided from SAP side. We just have to deploy it, make the proper connection, and we can start using it in Work Zone. So like I said earlier, SAP Work Zone is much more powerful than we think, and it is as powerful as the imagination of the person. So always when you're talking about SAP Work Zone, ensure that your imagination is on the next level. Okay. Now we will quickly now. So I hope this sets the agenda here that what all capabilities SAP Work Zone can provide, what are the different applications other than SAP Work Zone, which comes for under the SAP Build um, umbrella. Now we will talk about the key capabilities of SAP Work Zone before I jump into the system and start talking about the functionalities that are available or how you can leverage SAP Work Zone to create your own intranet portal, not only from HR processes point of view, but from other point of view as well. So one of the key capability of SAP Work Zone is the home pages functionality. Okay. Now, home page is a very important when you're designing an experience. Home page should talk about the user, that what all is relevant to them. It should not be very much cluttered. At the same point of time, it should have element or it should have links which can redirect the user to the relevant areas of the work zone. Okay, so not all the information should be kept on the home page, but at the same time it should work as an entry tool or an entry page to the different section of work zone. Okay, you can add your news, you can add your updates, you can add your featured content on the home page so that it is available to the end user as soon as they go inside the system. Okay, then we have workspaces inside. These can be called as small engagement areas which can be created for different purposes. Now, these workspaces can be a manager specific workspace, okay, where you can have actionable for people who are manager in the organization. These can be public workspaces, for example, a communication workspace, which can be used for communicating between the employees. These can be private workspaces for maybe for a specific project, maybe for a specific department, maybe for a specific location and geography. Okay, or these can be your external workspaces as well. A lot of time in an organization, you have people who are currently not on your payroll, but still they are critical to your processes. These can be your contractor, these can be your alumni of the organization. You can create workspaces for these people as well so that they can come into the system, they can get the relevant information without being part of the overall framework of SAP Work Zone. Okay. Like we were talking about work spaces, there are different type of elements that are available on the workspaces. I will also showcase this to you when we will go inside the demo system. So there can be a section which can be an overview section which talks about the workspace, whether it's a departmental workspace, whether it's a location wise workspace. Then you can have your feed news. So for example, there can be a global stream of news, and there can be a specific news section for a specific department or a location. Then accordingly you can have members who can manage this workspace. So from a managing point of view, you can have a global experience which can be managed by a centralized team, while these workspaces can have their own admins which can run the show. You can have recommended featured information. You can add sub workspaces as well. So for example, I can create a workspace by the name of uh, uh, United Kingdom. Now, all the employee who are in the United Kingdom can be part of that. I can create subspaces pertaining to the department in United Kingdom, for example, sales, consulting, finance, supply chain, so that there can be a global experience and then can be experiences specific to department. So not only on the global side or on the global level in work zone, you can create this kind of experience, but this is also available in the workspaces. You can schedule your events. You have a calendar capability here where you can show them the upcoming events. You have the capability of having knowledge base creating knowledge base article, which are very useful for organization, especially where people are deskless worker in case where they have to access information and they should have a mobile experience. So we'll talk about mobile experience in detail a little later in the session. Then you can create your task as well. So you can manage and you can assign tasks. These tasks can be of any nature. These tasks, like I said, can be for a whole organization of a specific location. These tasks can be for a specific department in that location as well. So completely up to you how you want to structure it, how you want to have the admins who are maintaining these workspaces. You also have the capability what call as my workspace. So like we were talking about earlier, the home page or the different pages inside the workspace. At the same time, we talked about the workspaces now, which are defined by the admin or by the organization from a structure point of view. At the same time, in work zone, you have the capability which is called as my workspace. Completely up to you whether you want to enable it or disable it, which is very specific to each employee. So for a specific employee, there can be critical things which they want to keep there. So they have the capability where you can allow them to keep different information. So for example, a person in finance can add his or her finance graphs in that my workspace, while at the same point of time, a supply chain guy can add a tile which talks about the inventory management, while a guy in an IT can create his or her learning plan, which can have the training on AI on which he or she is upskilling himself or herself. So similarly, in my workspace page, they can define what is relevant to them, not only consuming what has been provided by the organization, at the same time creating a small pocket or a small section of real estate for themselves, which is very close to them. Now, like I was talking about earlier when we were talking about the problem that the experience is pretty fragmented. There are multiple applications with which an employee has to interact with. There are a couple of ways you can add those application inside WorkZone. Depends on what kind of integration you're looking for. To start from a small piece, you can add those application as a tile inside the application section, and you can then divide them into different sections. So for example, like here you can see that I have a special application section, and here I have application which are from employee services, manager services, and from a cloud platform workflow group. Okay, so similarly you can group these application into different headers. These applications can be a simple direct link so that when a person clicks my career, he or she will be redirected to that application. So it will be a single entry point, while for consuming the information inside that application, they have to be redirected to the application. Now, this is something which is very easy, can be done by the business people as well. At the same time, WorkZone has the capability where you can add a web page inside the um, work zone as well. So we call it the web content card. I'll showcase it to you when I'll go into the system to give you a deeper dive around that, where you can open the whole application inside work zone. But yeah, it will the other application needs to support this. At the same time, there can be an integration, what we call as a deep integration, where we can fetch some of the data and we can present it through the extensionability concept of work zone. I will also showcase you an application that we have developed at Talenty inside Talenty. We called it a blend. So I will tell you that how complex applications can be created using the BTP framework work zone, and that can be surfaced to the end user. So from an application integration point of view, completely up to you whether you want to have a low hanging thing where you just want to link the application inside a web page, or you want to fetch data from that application and surface it inside the application through the API mechanism or maybe a flat file mechanism, or you simply want to open that application inside Workzone. So yeah, this was an overview before I wanted to jump into the system. If you have any Q&A question, feel free to put them in chat. I'll will answer them at the end of the session. Now I will quickly switch back to the system again. Okay, so this is what a home page can look like. Like we were talking about earlier, that it should not be cluttered. At the same time, it should be providing enough information to the end user. So for example, here I have logged in using Tessa here. Okay, so Tessa Walker, I have using the persona of Tessa Walker to log in into the work zone. So when Tessa comes, she will see a tagline of the organization. For example, with the talent team, it is becoming a skill-based powerhouse. So like we help organization being a skill-based powerhouse with our advanced skill application that we have developed for becoming an organization, a skill-driven an organization. So similarly, if Tessa has come with searching already in mind, she can search that here. For example, she might be looking for a leave policy. She might be looking for an onboarding guide. If she want to search that, she has the full capability to come directly here and can search for that specific content here. Okay, like we were talking about earlier, that you have the capability to simply link your applications inside work zone. So what you can do, like here I have created the style, you can link all your organization application in your application. At the same time, you have a permission framework which will ensure that even though you have 30 applications that are integrated with work zone at this point of time, only the relevant one will surface to the end user. So there is a permission framework which will ensure that if there is an application which is only relevant to the supply chain people, it should only be visible to them. It should not be visible to the finance team. Similarly, you have the capability to surface the information about the different places inside work zone. So I have an announcement here that the performance forms are now live in the organization and available for your actions. Okay, so a performance cycle is something which is a very critical for every organization, and they want to communicate it to the user as much as they can. So similarly, they can use the work zone framework as well, where they can place a tile, they can create a whole workspace around that. As we will go deeper in this session, I'll also showcase that how I have defined this complete workspace. So just hang on a minute, I'll circle back to the performance piece. Then I have created separate sections inside work zone. So for example, I have a human resource section through which an employee can link to. I have created a career and learning hub section. I have created a help desk section as well, where the people can raise their IT help desk related issues where they want assistance. I have also created different section around a staff offer and for the wellness and benefits. I have created one section around staff corner. I have also created one section around corporate social responsibility as well. Okay, so here you can see that all of these information that I'm showcasing are available in the different section of workzone, either through different pages framework or through the workspace framework, but I have linked them on my home page so that the navigation to an end user is seamless, while at the same time I'm not overwhelming them with a lot of information. Now earlier, like we discussed, that work zone in its true nature is a very robust communication tool as well within the organization. So here you can see that as an organization, we have put a featured news, as well as we have put some other news here as well, with which the employee can interact with. So I can simply, I see, okay, so there is a new article on becoming a skill-based organization around talent team skill transformation suite. I can simply click it and I can read about it. Okay, so say I can comment on it as well. I can like it as well. Completely up to you whether you want to enable the comment piece or you want to disable the comment field or the liking field. So up to you whether you want to, what kind of a permission you want against a content. But here you can see that the organization is successfully able to impart the news to an end user through this platform. At the same time, like we discussed earlier, you have the calendar functionality available, where as an employee, I can see that what all are the upcoming events in the organization. I can see this company communication, which is from a holistic point of view for a full corporation, that what all is happening. If there is a survey that, for example, what's most important to you in our new intranet structure, I have the capability to respond to this survey as well. If I want to see the result, it will show me the result as well. So on my communication feed, I can see that there are different elements. I can see there are ports, which there are events which are happening. I can see surveys which are happening. Okay. At the same time, if you see on the left-hand side, I can see that who all are the featured member in the organization. What are the recommended workspaces? Completely up to me that what nomenclature I want to use for this. I can also see the featured content here. Okay, that what all content is featured from the organization. In case I want to create a new blog inside the organization, I want to add a wiki, track a term, create a new poll, or see what all is in my trash, I can look for that as well. In case there are notification, there can be approvals, there can be social media update, there can be informational update, there can be invitation to workspaces, there can be tasks which are assigned to me as well. All of these will be available for me in the summary notification. In case you feel that no, this is a bit down in the page, I want to give it more prominent position somewhere up. Completely up to you how you want to design your home page. What are the importance for you in your organization? But here, as you can see, that it gives you the full flexibility to define your workspaces, define your experiences on your own for your end users. So like we were talking about earlier, WorkZone comes with a very strong integration with SuccessFactors. Okay, so there are standard tiles which bring data from SuccessFactor to WorkZone. We will see a little of that. For example, I have created one page here which I am calling the my HR Hub. Now, HR Hub will talk about my profile. I can define that which of the component I want to see. I want to see who are in my team. In case I'm not a manager, it will show me who all are in my peer. People who use SuccessFactor know that SuccessFactor homepage has a quick action tile where there are a lot of actions which are available. So similar framework is available on WorkZone. And yes, this is completely organically out of the box integrated with SuccessFactor. So if you have to request a time off, you can simply click request time off and you can apply for a leave. If you want to see your pay statement, you can do that. If you want to see your org chart, you can do that. If you want to view your team absence, you can do that here from here as well. At the same time, one of the use cases which is very relevant in HR is that where are my relevant documents? A lot of time people are reaching out to HR to knowing that where their relevant document lies. So here you can see that I have categorized different type of documents under different category, so that as an end user, all of these documents are available to me easily. I do not need to reach out to any of the HR people. I can simply click them, I can view them. like I said earlier, that we have deep integration, Workzone has deep integration into SuccessFactor. I can see that how many vacations are there for me, how many sick leaves I have, is there a pending leave for me or not? Have I applied for a job application recently or not? Have I got any award recently? Are there some more link with the lesser impact available? I can add them in my utility list, or I can add them here. As you can see, different application. These can be of a lower importance like we have seen earlier, but the system gives you the capability. Then the information can be imparted from a graph point of view as well. So for example, out of the box, I get a vaccination status. Now I can select different department, division, and I can see that how many people are vaccinated. In case I myself want to give a spot award to anyone in the organization, I have that capability. And this is what we call as a guided experience, which I will also showcase it to you, that how a guided experience can be created inside the system. So for example, I can come here, I can select that whom I want to give this award to. I can say, okay, this is a thank you award. I can go to step 2 and I can select the award category and award level, and I can simply go and I can um, give the award. Okay, to, for example, Mr. Hill. So this is what a guided experience inside the systems look like. There are a couple of tiles or cards which are available with WorkZone, which are guided in nature. I have shown you one of them. You have the capability to create these guided experience as well. Like I talked about earlier about an organization which reached out to us that they have an on-site process in their organization where people are being sent on site, and the communication for that is completely on Excel, and they wanted a kind of a guided experience. So we use this guided capability available in WorkZone to create this complete framework. You are already licensed for that, so you do not have to pay extra for this technology. But yeah, whosoever is creating that fees does apply. Similarly, I can see my compensation statement once it's released. I can see my pay statement. I can see if there is a discussion which is happening. Now, this discussion is different from the one that I showcased to you on page 1. Now, this can be specific to HR. So likewise, you can create your specific discussion boards as well. There can be a global board inside an organization, and then there can be board which can be very specific to a process, maybe only around career learning and career development, maybe around only for a specific department. Now, as I have taken the name of a department, so I can be redirected to a insurance department to which I belong to. Okay, so this now every for every user, you can create these experiences as well inside the system. So for example, Tessa belonged to the insurance department. So to her, the insurance workspace will be made available. In case someone belong to supply chain, there will be supply chain department visible to them. They can be imparted knowledge specific to that department. For example, now I can have different sections inside. This is what we call as a workspace, which we discussed earlier. For example, I can have a separate tab for discussion, survey, suggestion and feedback, EMI calculator, any content that is hosted, any task which I have to complete. So for example, like I was talking earlier, that you have the capability to use this platform to assign different tasks inside the system as well. Now I can see that there are 3 tasks which are assigned to me as an end user, and I can once I have performed those tasks, I can simply mark them complete or um, uh, incomplete. Okay. So similarly, this is all reportable. So if an admin wants to run a report to see that which of the task has been completed by the employee, which are yet to be complete, they can get that analytics as well. WorkZone comes with a very strong analytics capability, I must say, which shows the engagement of the content with the user. So what kind of content is being more engaged, what of the workspaces are being more engaged or by the end user. You can get all that statistics in a specific time frames as well if you want. Now let me go back. Now, similarly, I have this career and learning hub. So again, I have created an experience which can be around the career and learning hub of the employee. So I can see my performance goal, I can see my developmental goal, I can again see some of my application which are relevant to my career and development and learning. So for example, my training library, I can view from here. I can view my growth portfolio, my career worksheet, and my opportunity workspace. At the same time, like I talked earlier, that SAP Work Zone comes with a lot of standard cards, out of the box cards, which have deep integration inside SuccessFactors. So here you can see that I have what we call as a mentoring and career explorer card. Now I can explore, now career and explorer is something which is a functionality of SuccessFactors. Any success factor card to work efficiently should ensure that you have the license to that relevant module and it is properly implemented as well. Okay, so if I'm showcasing you the career explorer card, it means that I already have that license available and that functionality is properly implemented inside my success factor. At the same time, it also shows me the mentoring capability. So any mentoring program that have been created on the success factor side will be made visible here. I can see my learning calendar in case I have enrolled for any training. That training will be made available on my learning calendar. My continuous performance engagement that I'm doing with my manager will be surfaced here as an end user as well. I can see my learning plan. I can see my learning feed as well. Okay. I'll take a minute here while I just grab my water bottle. If anyone has any question, feel free to put them in the chat. Thank you. Just a minute, team, before we go ahead. And welcome back. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now, like I said earlier, that you have the capability to create different workspaces. There can be different use cases. For example, your staff corner where you can have your staff communicate with them. For example, they can talk about see that what are the different birthdays of the employees that are coming. If there are any congratulations due, there is a farewell that is happening. In case, unfortunately, there is a condolence, you can get all of that information from this staff corner workspace. Similarly, you have the capability to create, define different workspaces inside the platform. Okay. So like I have created these all workspaces which can be very useful for an end user to get an information. They can have a corporate social responsibility workspace where they can do charity. They can look for the event that are about to happen. They can see if there is an art event where they can donate or buy art which can be used for charity, or they have a sustainability event. They can all see that on the calendar inside the corporate social responsibility workspace. Similarly, like we discussed earlier, these workspaces can be for internal employees. These workspaces can be for external employees as well. For I mean external, like when I say external employee, I basically mean your contractors or people who have left the organization who are alumni. Now, like I said earlier, that I will circle back to the performance cycle or the performance workspace, which you can call as your performance workspace. Now, I have used only the standard framework to create this. Okay, so here I can see that this workspace has different section. It has my journey, it has the updates, news, and FAQs as well. So here I can see that what this performance journey is, and I can simply click continue. When I click continue here, what I will get is the overview of my performance cycle. I will get the performances to see the different performance cycle phases. So I can see that which of the phase, so for example, my mid-year goal setting will happen from 10th of January to 10th of February. My mid-year will happen from July 1st to July 30. My year-end review will happen from November 1 to December 15. So all the information that an organization wants to impart to the end user can be done through using this framework. Then I can go to performance cycle details, and here I can get those details as well. And all of this has been created. I will use some of the time to show you that how you can create it at your end as well. At the same time, some optional tips for success, and then the last, the filling out of the form. Now, what I have done, that there's a standard card around performance form. I have embedded that inside this journey. Okay. And from here, I can create my new goal, or I can take action on my existing goal as well. So I have embedded performance goal card, which is a standard out of the box card inside this journey, where people can come and they can add that. At the same time of time, if there is a discussion that is about that needs to happen between the manager and the employee, you can capture that as well here using the continuous performance framework uh, feature of activities. Okay. So like here, you can see that I have completely created a guided experience here using the standard work zone and success factor functionality for a performance cycle journey. Similarly, there can be others as well. There can be use cases from supply chain. There can be use cases for other as well. Department as well, maybe from finance, maybe from sales as well. Now, like I said earlier, that I will showcase to you how easy it is to create these. So I will just edit this. And yeah, what I'm about to do now can only be done by an admin. So now what I'm doing is an admin activity. This is not an end user. I'm just want to show how easy it is to create such experiences with no coding required. So here you can see that I put the title, I put the description, I put that whether it needs to be embedded in a workspace or it needs to open as a dialog box, whether I want to create it the single instance or I want to create multiple instances. Multiple instances means if you want to capture that how many times the person has completed this complete process. It can be some other processes as well where it is relevant. So for example, completing a developmental journey and so on. Okay, and here you can see that I have created different stages here. So stage one is the overview of performance cycle. Stage two is the performance cycle details. Stage three is the performance goal. And similarly, I have added the sub processes here, as you can see. Okay, I can mark them that which of it is mandatory in nature, which of it is optional in nature. Okay, I can simply mark them required, not required. If I want to add a new um, section, I can simply click this. If I want to add a altogether new stage, then I can simply click add stage. At the same time, I can add an image to the cover, which makes it more appealing to the end user. So similarly, once I have done that, I simply have to come here and I can add different widgets. These widgets can be your standard widgets, which are your images, your text, as well to impart knowledge about this guided experience. You can create these card at any point of time. You have that you get that capability, but yeah, sometimes you require coding for that. So I'm not covering that, but yeah, you have the full capability to design your guided experience in work zone as you want. Most of it is completely no code, like I have shown you earlier, the one that I just created here, where you can create a complete performance journey here. Okay, so I hope that was exciting to see that you can create all these guided experience without knowing without knowing any technical knowledge about these. Okay, so these are some of the use cases. Then the other use cases or the experience that I want to show you is maybe an onboarding experience. So onboarding again is a very critical process inside an organization. Okay, so in onboarding, you want to give the best experience of your organization to the person who is about to join you. Similarly, what I have created here is uh, just give me a second. I'm switching my browser. Yes. Okay. Now I will log in into Workzone using an onboardee profile. At the same time, if you want, you can embed this link inside the email that are typically sent out to an employee. So for example, if anyone is joining talent team, I can add them to this workspace, which is created for an onboarding. So here you can see that I again have multiple sections. My first section is the overview of the organization. I can welcome them. I can talk about the history of the organization. I can talk about the different sections of the department, for example, onboarding, our management, HR discussion at the same time, different vertical in the organization like consulting, project management, sales, product management. And then I can also give them a social feed, which will talk about the events or what is happening. Now, at the same time, there are different activities which needs to be completed by the employee. Okay, these activities can be your onboarding checklist. These activities can be your onboarding guide. This can be an onboarding welcome message. Either you can use these separate tiles to create your experience, or like we discussed earlier, that we have the guided experience available with us, where I can simply click now, okay, and I can go before first day, and here what I can see that I get a complete experience of an onboarding here. So this is where I need to fill out my detail. I need to fill out my provide my personal details, provide additional details. In case your organization using the compliance form inside SuccessFactors and they are configured, again, all these cards that I'm showing, they basically mean that you have the license to these modules and those are properly implemented. So if you do not have a compliance form inside SuccessFactor, this feature will not work. Okay, so you can have your compliance form and then you can go to the next step where you can read your onboarding guide, know your buddies and peer, browse employee handbook. Then you can submit your vaccination status. At the same time, there are tasks which are cut out for you already for your first day. So for example, on the first day, you have to get view your payslip. You have to update your profile. You, in case you want to request time off, in case you want to change address information. So you have these tasks already created inside onboarding. We have the capability to embed them inside Workzone and give them a complete guided experience for the person who is about to join your organization. And this does not end, this experience does not end only with the activities that an employee needs to do before they join the organization or on the first day. It goes up to the next 3 months as well. Okay, so if you have specific goals for a person who is joining the organization, or there are tasks that needs to be completed by them, you can add those as well in this guided journey. Okay, and the end user can consume them through this workspace that you have created with this beautiful experience card. Okay, at the same time, and as a new joinee, I need to know about my management team. I need to know who are my HR content. I want to deep dive into the company information, and I also want to have things which I want to discuss. When you join an organization, you have a lot of questions that you have, but a lot of time people who are about to join the organization are hesitant to ask those questions. Okay, so what you can do, you can create these discussion boards. This discussion boards will also have the question which are previously asked inside the organization. So what it will do, it will basically, rather than them asking the same question again and again to the HR or to their peers or to their buddies, they can simply come to the discussion board and they can see those questions which have been asked previously and answered, which will solve a lot of queries for these people. Okay, so similarly, completely up to you. Like I always say about work zone, that work zone is as powerful as the imagination of the person who's designing this. So like here, you can see that you can completely create an onboarding experience for the person who is yet to join your organization, in place of giving them information through different emails or different section of success sector. You can ensure that all of those activities are collated inside a single workspace and can be imparted to them. Okay, with obviously with guided experience and the relevant section available to the relevant and people as well. Now now quickly going to my slides. This complete persona, or this complete capabilities that I have shown you, all of them are available on mobile as well. You have Apple Store, you have Android Store, from where you can download the application. That's just like you download the SuccessFactor application, and you can consume all of this information from mobile phone as well. Okay. Now, talking about integrations once again, okay, because this is one of a very interesting topic when it comes to work zone, as well as extensibility, that what all the application that you can create. We at Talent Team have created a whole learning experience platform using this work zone and BTP framework. So I will take a couple of minutes to showcase that to you. So here I can come and I will log in into one of my instance. Again, this is another work zone instance only. Okay, and we call this application Blend. Okay, so Blend comes and sits on top of SuccessFactor Learning. We use the portal technology, which is our work zone, and we have created this complete learning experience application where you can surface your learning content from SuccessFactor, LinkedIn, Coursera. Even if you have content available in SharePoint folder, we have the capability to extract them and surface them here. Like you can see that an end user can consume this learning from here. They can like the content, they can share the content, and this is what we call as trending cards. So we have created this using different cards. There are more than 50 cards, so it will take a session on its own. So I will just show you the tip of the iceberg here. If you guys are interested, we have next session coming for Blend. Feel free to sign up for that as well. Okay, so for example, I have my assigned learning, and any training that is getting assigned to an employee in success sector will automatically be assigned. You can bifurcate between mandatory and optional. So you can see that all these experiences and all these functionality we have created using the BTP and work zone framework of success factor on top of learning to create a whole application which is currently used by more than a dozen organizations globally for running their global learning operations. Okay. So, yep. So, any question before we end the session? I hope you enjoyed the session. Now I'll start taking the question. So let's see what all is in the chat. Okay. Uh, okay. So from here I get to. um, How Build Work Zone is different from SuccessFactor Work Zone. Also, Build Work Zone is superset of SAP Work Zone or vice versa. Okay, so Gautam, it is more or less same. The issue is with the pricing. Okay, maybe after this session, we will be able to share you some link around how it is differentiate from how your licenses are structured. But from a capability point of view, it is same that how you have licensed for that. Okay. I hope that answers the question. And then the next is from Stefan. Hi, Sohaib. We are looking for a solution in which we standardize our complex HR processes in a UX-friendly environment, a starting point from which user-guided start a process, request example, parental leave. Is that possible with SAP? Yeah, yeah, absolutely, Stefan. It is completely possible. And this is one of the, I would say, a most widely accepted use case where you want to create a guided experience. Whether this guided experience can be we created similar to what I have shown you today from a performance cycle point of view? Can it be done through some no code solution, or whether it will require a heavy code solution? Yeah, that is something up for discussion. Feel free to reach out to us so that we can tell you that whether it can be done by no code, low code solution, or whether it will require a complete coding solution based on the complexity of the process you want to configure inside Workzone. But yeah, the answer to this is completely yes. Workzone is fully capable of handling all such guided experience. How we are controlling the permission here? Is it RBP also? Can we give access of work zone build to external candidates? So yeah, I think in the last I showed you that you can give it to onboardee, you can give it to your contractor, you can even give access to your alumni as well, because even when you leave the organization, you have your different compliance related form, or you have document that you need to get from the organization. You need a platform through which you can reach out to them. So yes, providing access to people who are not your on your payroll is completely doable. Coming to your first question, which is controlling permission, the permission control is on multiple level in Workzone. The first of all is it's in IS, where you need to define that whether the person is just an end user, whether he or she is an admin, or whether he is a page creator. For example, if you see my screen, I get these three um, buttons here on the right hand side. So this is why, because I'm a admin in this creator. So whether you want to create someone or not, so all of this is first in the IS side. Then on the work zone side as well, you can define that whether I get these buttons as well as I get these buttons or not. Okay, so that is the second level. The third level is on the site creator as well. Okay, so this is a complete site that I have created, in which I have created workspaces, pages. The last is that even so, for example, I can add one more page here, which I showed you, is, for example, an insurance page. Any page that I have here. So for example, HR Hub, I can come here and I can control the access from here. I can give access to a specific set of user or to a workspace users as well. So yeah, you get full capability to control the permissions of a work zone. Okay, you can make it as granular as you want. And then the last question we have is from Miles. What are the other application in SAP Build and their uses? So there are 14 application which comes or 14 services, I would say. Services is a better word. So I'll use, there are 14 services inside SAP Build. Okay. Some of them which are very useful are Task Center, which has recently now being bundled work zone. So what happens that even if you are using any third party application or even an SAP application where you have an approval, where you have a notification, you can embed that task inside work zone. So your employee does not need to go into different application to approve or reject any workflow. They can do all of that from work zone. So that makes life of an end user or a person in charge very simple. Similarly, there are other application as well, but yeah, like I said, that there are 14 services inside SAP Build as of now from SAP side. Okay, thank you for your question. I hope I was able to answer all the question and you got to see what you were looking for from this session. And I think this is it. Vinisha, any last words from you?
So Heba, I think we have one more question
Oh,
from Gautam Kumar.
okay. So we are saying RBP is not involved anywhere for the permission. So Gautam, RBP is only involved in the cards, the permission that you are surfacing in the cards. Okay. So for example, I showed you a developmental goal card. If from an RBP perspective, you have not given me a permission to a specific development goal, then that development goal template or that development goals will not be visible on the work zone side. Similarly, from an onboarding piece, if there is some information to which I don't have the permission, that will not be visible to me. I showed you my profile and I showed you that I can see my department division, I can see my reportee's department division and his whole employee attribute. In case I do not, as a manager, I don't have an RPP for that specific permission against that employee, then that will be not visible. But the remaining and the card will still be visible to me. I hope that answers your question.
All right. I think so that brings us to the end of the session today. Thank you so much, Suhaib, and I hope it was insightful for all of you who joined us. As always, we'll be sharing the webinar recording with you by tomorrow or by end of today latest. So do keep an eye on your inbox. Before we sign off, do check out our upcoming events and webinars. The link is already in the chat, and if feel free to explore and register. So yeah, thanks again for joining, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.